Do not attempt to adjust your computer. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. The Mothership flies through cyberspace one more time. My name is Dobie Maxwell, the king of Uranus. Joining me to my left, to your left, to my right, Greg DeGuire. And freshly built back like the Steve Austin $6 Million Man. I think it's a little bit more than $6 million now. How's the hoof? Or the is that really
hips,
the hoof?
The hips.
The hoof.
Hips are doing fine, and it's more like the $3,500 man is about what the bill came to after insurance took a toll.
Well, thank space for Obamacare.
Yes.
Whatever it is they paid for it. To your right, to my left, the lovely and talented Carrie Turner in her Clark Kent glasses. It's the first time you had glasses on.
Yeah.
You never know how many people wear contacts. Do you wear contacts?
No. Although in my old age, I must confess to having to wear reading glasses from time to time.
Okay, now how long have you worn contacts? Just
oh my God, years, 10 years.
Okay, I'm just curious. I never I didn't want to stick fingers in my eye. And the
it's
people that
on.
do, and then they wear glasses. Oh, yeah, I've worn glasses since I was 6. So it's weird how technology goes. We have not recorded for a while. We are back in the saddle again. Life gets in the way. A lot of people. We always like to get together and have our little cosmic coffee clutch, if you will. This is Al, our cosmic pal here in the pickle jar from Uranus, wherever he is from. He is listening on a much deeper level. Now, you had a couple things you wanted to hit before we started, so let's do that.
Well, I want to plug that if you're in the Kenosha area, I will be speaking at Club Fusion, that is downtown kitty corner from east from the Boathouse, across the street from, I think it's still Around the Clock Restaurant, directly across the street from Around the Clock Restaurant. It is the Summertime Storytellers. It's called the Oleo Storytellers. They meet every 3 months on like the third Thursday of every third month. Sounds like an evil plan, but that's how the timing works out. So I've been once again invited to be a guest storyteller.
And if you're not from Wisconsin, oleo is a term that they used to use for margarine.
Yeah, for margarine. That's correct.
That?
Yeah.
My
grandma used
the young generation has no idea.
My grandma used to say, "Pass the oleo." Everybody. I'm not sure what the oleo exactly stands for, but you can see some of my past stuff I've posted on my Facebook page,
or you can on the Mothership page.
Yeah, it's on the Mothership page, or you can YouTube. You can YouTube Oleo Storytellers, and it'll come right up.
I'm the old croaker. I remember way back as a kid, they used to have what's called oleo runs. They would not sell margarine, oleo, whatever you want to call it, in Wisconsin. So if you wanted it, it was cheaper. You had to go to Illinois, which from Milwaukee was probably at least an hour drive. To go over the Illinois border to buy it.
I think back then the interstate speed was what, 45 miles an hour?
I don't know if there was an interstate. As fast as the horse could.
Yeah, the horse and buggy. Yeah.
So times have really come ahead.
So my story is going to be about. It's supposed to be like summertime stories. I don't really have a lot of summertime stories, so I'm going to talk about fun summers that I've had, family vacations, junk and stuff like that. And then I'm going to talk about what I want to lead into the show with is about how one man's summer was completely ruined around this time. Well, more around the week of the 4th. Approximately, what do we have? Are we 50 years? Around 50 years ago, rancher Mac Brazel.
We are 60 years.
Yeah.
60 years.
Yes.
60 years. It was 1947, and we're 2017. That would be 60 years. So, yeah, Mac Brazel, who didn't own the property, but he was a rancher. I don't remember the property owner's name. Anyways, his sheep ran into some debris that scared them, and he's run into debris before that they walked around, sniffed around, or what have you. This debris they ran away from. So he called the local Roswell Army Air Force, and they come out and decided that this was a legitimate UFO. I'm going to call that summer ruined. So I'll be talking about stuff like that.
Now let's redefine, because I think UFO does not mean alien spaceship from other planets.
No, it technically means unidentified flying object, which could just mean nowadays you could see a drone. Say, yeah, that's a UFO. Doesn't mean it's piloted by aliens. You just don't exactly know what it is. It is unidentified.
But I think people want to have the aliens land from another planet.
Yes, please. Can't come fast enough. Thank you.
Take us up on the ship.
Yes.
See how strong their radio is.
Yes.
Look through their sunroof.
I bet they get satellite radio for a lot cheaper than what we have to pay for.
Yeah. Interesting. So now our good buddy Don Schmidt.
Don Schmidt, this is one of my favorite books. If you're interested in the Roswell incident, Don Schmidt, who's been a guest on the Mothership a couple times.
And he will be again.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of trying to get him down to the compound.
If you can get a load of this, his book is called Witness to Roswell. I read this actually on the way out to Roswell, and I met him, and he actually autographed it for me a number of years ago.
A wonderful human being.
Wonderful, and Wisconsin native nonetheless, is he not?
Yes, he is up by Hubertus, Wisconsin.
Yes, local feller done good. So yeah, this book is just a. Ooh, I forgot I had hidden trinkets in here. This is when I stayed. This is a receipt from Klein's Corners, where the Roswell, where they had it was at the Four Corners, is what they called it back then. There was a meeting at this cafe over what exactly to do about the situation. And nowadays, there's like a. Ever been to Wall Drug in South Dakota?
I have.
This is more or less a miniature version of Wall Drug. It's just a trinkets and tchotchkes cafe spot.
Baubles, doodads,
knickknacks. Yes,
Tiny
Cupid
rats.
dolls,
Give the dog a bone.
Cudos and whatnots. This is a receipt from that place. This is a receipt for my stay at the Motel 6 in Roswell, New Mexico. Why I kept all this weirdness, your guess is as good as mine.
There's government documents, so when they come and put a tinfoil hat on you and haul you
Yeah.
off. It's like,
This is a receipt that I must have spent quite a bit of money at the Roswell Space Center for $42.78. I'm not sure what I got, but I'm a good one for souvenirs. This one is now not legible. Invisible ink says me, but this was also a receipt from Roswell, New Mexico.
I was coming through Roswell a couple of years ago from a comedy gig in Tucson, Arizona, and it was too late when I got the gig. It was New Year's Eve, so I couldn't fly. I drove, I rented a car, and drove across the country. And if anybody has never done that before, have you ever done that?
Oh yeah.
It's a mental enema. It just blows all the cobwebs out of your head. And I recommend every 5 to 10 years that you do that. You could be with another person. But I think it's better to do it by yourself. You sleep when you're tired. You eat when you're hungry. You clear your head out. You get on just a different level. I think it's fantastic. And I happened to stay in Roswell on the way back because I wanted to do that. I hadn't seen it in a while. And there is an alien motel there. They have a little fake flying saucer, and there's alien dolls and stuff like that. And one of the alien dolls, or what would you call it? Creatures, whatever they do to attract me, was wearing a Green Bay Packers jersey.
Of course.
So I had to stay at
So
that.
you gravitated
I had to stay at
towards
that
it.
hotel because I'm thinking, well, if the aliens like the Packers,
How can you go wrong?
How can you go
How
wrong?
can you go wrong? Well,
G
they're
for
green.
G-force.
Yeah, they're green, so Packers jerseys are green. I want to say it was a natural attraction.
Yeah.
So yeah, Roswell is an interesting, unique little town if you've never been. And as we've been talking about, it's more or less a one-horse town. There's a main street, and that's about it. If you want to take Jeep tours back to where Mac found the stuffs, you can do that, but you got to book a long time in advance, and you can actually get a tour out to where he
The
found
good
it.
thing about it, if you ever get a chance to go out there, do it because the town embraces. The
Oh,
whole
they love
culture.
it. They love it.
I'm
They
sure
love us over there.
they would love us over there. We'd like to go ahead and broadcast live. Would be our ultimate thing. I think they would let us.
Oh, I think so too, especially the UFO museum.
Oh yeah.
And I've yet to post these. I took these pictures before I was on the Facebook, so I have these pictures printed. So I'm gonna have to find a way to repost these pictures. I took a lot of pictures inside the UFO museum. Lots of fun. My favorite picture is that they have a black and white picture of. They have a picture of the Starship Enterprise, the Batwing. All the Millennium Falcon, all these pictures in black and white. Underneath it says identified as swamp gas. Thought that was kind of funny. So it had all these ridiculous flying machines. It's not a UFO. That was what we're going to call swamp gas. That was
That's a
reflected reflected from
Ladies and gentlemen,
from Venus.
Swamp gas.
Swamp gas. Opening next at Summerfest. Swamp
If
gas.
you're just joining us, we like to come up with phrases that could be the names of bands, the eclectic names of bands. So if you are putting a band together, I'm not sure what Greg will charge. Carrie can keep track too. But
If you make it big, just let us have some backstage access.
Yeah.
a couple of T-shirts would be nice.
T-shirts, yeah, I go for that.
Swamp Gas Interplanetary Tour.
Yeah. So the last few band names that I have in my clipboard here were Phonies, Homeless Children, which is more sad than a band name, the Green Olives, and the Bad Doodlers.
Bad Doodlers. That's sick.
And I don't even remember that from last episode.
Well, that's why I write them down. That is why I write. Some of our favorites were the TJ Weenies, Duck Farts,
Bug poo.
the Poo Chuckers, and Bug Poo. Good, clever girl. So we're quoting still for avid watchers of the show, and we thank you for that. When we're not doing the round table chit chat, Carrie and I have embarked on Mothership. I've named it. Called it the Mothership Movie Probe.
Okay.
We put our finger up the anus of your favorite movie and ours to figure out.
The big green finger. What do you get? 4 knuckles if you're really
to
liking?
find out why we like these movies so much.
Okay.
I thought that was unique because
No,
the
we have-
Mothership with aliens and whatnot.
No, that's really cool. I've been out of my own world lately. Now, there hasn't been any good UFO alien movies out there. Before we were
No.
barraged and deluged with them until they're sickening, and now we haven't had one in a couple of years now.
And around July 4th, the only habit that I have every 4th of July is I watch Independence Day. And I watch that because they rounded back to Roswell, which I think is cool. So the ship that crashed at Roswell, and that movie is one of these alien attack craft. So they try to put it back together and fly it back to the mothership and blow it up, and therefore destroying all the other ships that landed her. So I think that's a fun movie. And now I watched the double feature. So I watched the first Independence Day, then Independence Day Resurrection, which was 20 years after the original, 97, 2007. Yeah, 20 years after the original. Other than that, there really hasn't been a good UFO, like a good movie. There's probably been some bad B movies that's been on Netflix. No offense, Netflix. But as far as a legitimate theatrical release, not much.
Netflix.
Man, enough with the bad B movies.
Cosmic water.
Come on. Yeah, there hasn't been. I mean, there's only a handful of really, really good UFO movies. And Independence Day kind of ranks among that. Battle Los Angeles, if you've never seen this movie, is a pretty decent alien occupation movie.
Is it recent?
It is recent, and it's well done and taken very seriously. I think it's a fun movie. It's what the sequel to Independence Day, I think, should have been. It's the invasion. Not so much the, ooh, here they are, how do we stop them? That's over. Now they're landing and taking crap over.
Cool.
So it's our fight to get our crap back, which I think is a lot of fun. And previous to that, we had, Contact with Jodie Foster. If you've never seen Contact with Jodie Foster, good more alien movie as far as what you really believe in, the religious versus the science, all that kind of stuff. Then you have Fire in the Sky, which is about the Travis Walton story. That movie, when I saw it at the theater, scared me to death. I didn't want to look up at the sky anymore. I'm like, if that's what happens, I'm out. I don't want to know anymore. I'm happy not knowing.
What was it? He was out in the booms.
He was gone for I want to say 2 or 3 days, something like that. And he came back in another town naked in a phone booth with not a whole lot of explanation.
Some people pay extra for that.
Got to pay extra for that kind of action in Vegas, so I hear. I wouldn't know. But all the he was on a logging mission in Colorado. I want to say Colorado, maybe? I haven't seen the movie in a while.
You walk in the logging camp naked from another city. You're gonna turn
Sounds like that's the start of a joke somewhere. So a rabbi, priest, and a naked logger.
Walking to a telephone booth.
Oh, exactly.
But all the guys that were with him, his fellow logging buddies, they all passed all of their lie detectors. As far as, what did you do with Travis? You kidnapped him, you murdered him, you buried out in the sticks somewhere. Like, no, we saw the thing come out the sky, sucked him up. Well, bada bing, that's what we know. And all 5 of the other guys who didn't get kidnapped all passed every lie detector then and now. So it's left up to mystery.
I wonder if they keep in contact, if they have like a reunion.
Now, at the end of the film, it says kind of what happened to some of the guys, and a lot of them really don't talk about it too much anymore. They think they want to be left alone for the most part, knowing that we're not alone. They'll be left alone. So, yeah. So Zero.
One of the other movies is District 9.
District 9, good one by Peter Jackson of Hobbit quality. This movie was supposed to be a Halo movie, the video game Halo, but it evolved into something completely different, which is what we know as District 9. So District 9, the premise is ship gets stuck, has mechanical failures, it gets stuck in our atmosphere over South Africa. And they don't know what to do with these things. They didn't even know those things were up there, so we send helicopters and people up there and find all these aliens starving, all their equipment's broken down, so they get them off the ship and more or less put them in a shanty town. And they're called, the slang for them is called prawns. They look like walking shrimp, more or less, which prawn is a type of shrimp, so maybe to do with that. But these aliens are, they eat cat food. They love to eat canned cat food, so cat food is their money. They're not allowed to do anything, they live in sheds. It's actually kind of a sad movie. So, but we can't work any of their weapons. You gotta have the alien DNA to trigger their offensive capabilities. So one of the guys who runs District 9 gets some stuff, some goo on him. I think he was bitten or something happened. He got something on him and it turned his arm into a flipper of theirs. So he was able to operate the weapons and he became highly sought after on both sides to figure out how this happened. So then these two other aliens and his little son alien, which was illegal to have in District 9, they decide to help this fella out, but they're kind of using him to get technology so they could get a craft, an escape pod, back to their ship and get out of Dodge while they're getting's good. So it's kind of a double-cross movie, and in the end I feel bad for the human who gets turned into Flipper. Kind of a bummer. And I don't remember the character's name, and I haven't seen the movie in a while, although it didn't sound like I haven't seen it in a long while, but I haven't seen it in a long while. That's the gist of District 9.
It's a lot packed into one movie.
It really is.
It sounds good.
You've never seen District 9?
What year was that?
Maybe 2014? 2013, 2014? Something.
Was it that late?
Yeah. The main character is the same guy who, in the newer A-Team movie, which is not newer anymore, but the A-Team movie that was out, he played Murdoch. So the character played Murdoch, and I actually think he is actually South African. Anywho, he plays the main character in District 9. Also, I want to say he's been in another movie recently, too. Anyway.
Greg DeGuire, your human Dewey Decimal System when it comes to movies of all space kind.
Well, and I haven't even seen these in a while. This is all just off the top of my...
I think if we're going to have a weird woo-woo show, a tinfoil hat show, we all need to see some of these movies. I know I'm behind that.
Well, now, I got carried to see... So with our Mothership movie probe, our first official movie was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But previous to that, she'd never seen Disney's The Black Hole. So I had to watch an old 1979, 1980.
It was like a mix of all the Star Wars era, Star Trek era, movies into one. You could see the comparisons with all of them, but it was still good in its own way.
For its day.
Yeah.
It had some groundbreaking special effects technologies. And again, I don't have the info in front of my face. I don't know.
This is a Disney movie from '79.
Yes, it didn't have Disney in the title, but it didn't say Walt Disney Presents. Didn't have no goofy cartoons, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. It was just a Disney movie, much like Nightmare Before Christmas. Not a lot of people knew that is a Disney movie, but Disney's name didn't appear anywhere on this. Tim Burton wanted it to be his movie, but Disney fronted the money. More or less like the movie The Black Hole. It was because in small print it said Walt Disney Presents.
Was this due to the fact that in 1977 Star Wars blew up?
Yeah, because Star Wars was as successful as it was, every studio rushed to get some sort of sci-fi movie out there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So The Black Hole, the premise is a small ship by the name of the USS Palomino is out in deep space exploration, and they run across... spoiler alert, a giant black hole. Now, in orbit of this black hole is a ship called the USS Cygnus, was lost. So, aboard the Cygnus is Dr. Reinhardt, was that the feller's name?
Yeah.
Dr. Reinhardt, who is trying to take his ship through the black hole to find out what's on the other end. So the Palomino people are kind of, I don't want to do this. Turns out the Cygnus is crewed by the damned. Poor bastards. The former crew, he zombified all these poor guys to do his will, except for his giant red assassin robot called Maximilian. Yeah. Cool, one of the more cooler robots in movie history as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, this murder bot does killings and whatnots, and they decide to leave, but Dr. Reinhardt doesn't want to leave. He captures them, blows the ship up, takes the ship through the black hole anyways, and there you have it. The interesting part is what their view is of the after point of the black hole. And what is at the end of black holes, they certainly exist, sucks in all time and light. So how do you get through the damn thing? Can you get through the damn thing? And if you do, what's at the end of the damn thing? One of the mysteries of our age, we don't know.
Black hole mysteries for 500, Alex.
I could go so many. I'm going to leave that one be.
It was a good one, though.
It was a good one.
And I liked that the robots' names were very mediocre.
Vincent. Vincent is like an orbiting R2-D2. Didn't have legs, but he had little magnetized balls that he could clip on the outside of ships and roll around on.
And then his friend Bob was there too.
Magnetized balls.
Boom! I think we got one. Yeah. And that's how we get band names, folks.
Yeah.
Opening up for swamp gas.
Opening up for swamp gas.
But Vincent, if you've never seen The Black Hole, watch it just for Vincent. Vincent has the best script in the entire film. It says a pint can only hold a pint. If it's holding a pint, then it's doing its best. A pint can't hold a quart. If it's holding a pint, it's doing the best that it can. Vincent had some really, really clever lines in that
I don't
film.
mean to sound superior, but I don't like the company of other robots.
Best line in the film. Vincent had that. That's when we were talking about it. Now we're going to go to work and like, not to sound superior, but I really hate other humans. It just sounds funny to say. And it came from the black hole.
It was good.
That'd be a name of a B movie. It came from the black hole.
I gotta believe
That's got to be out there.
I was talking to someone else today about the Ed Wood movie, Plan 9 from Outer Space. There's another one I think that everybody's got to see, just to see, boy, you know what? When we think our show's not going anywhere, it's not even close to being that horrible. Have you seen that movie? We're going to make that a must-see.
Okay.
For the new generation.
Homework.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's how can you describe it other than...
You can't. No, you can't really describe it. And I think it's actually it might be free if you go to YouTube and go to Plan 9. I think it's public access movie.
Yeah, I would feel guilty spending money for it.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's Ed Wood DVD collections out there that it's part of. And if none of you have ever seen any Ed Wood movies, go buy this DVD collection, or if it's downloadable, however y'all get movies on your Fire Sticks and your fancy TVs and whatnot, please do find a way to watch it. Any of his movies, they're just bizarre.
And you will feel good about yourself. You're thinking, all my creative hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
You know, I'm better than that.
I agree wholeheartedly.
But he's famous. I mean, I wonder if aliens can check out, sample our technology. Like, technically, we sent TV waves into the cosmos.
Yeah, they just keep on going.
So they're probably just reaching somewhere now. 1952. I Love Lucy is probably a hit in some other galaxy somewhere.
Jay Leno had a joke in the movie Contact when it turns out that a signal came back to us and it was Hitler's TV speech from like 1936 or something like that. He goes, so if they've been getting our signals all along, can you imagine how disappointed they're going to be if they're Cubs fans? Because they've been losers for 100 years. So I thought it was funny.
That one is good.
But yeah, all the crappy TV. If we're going to apologize for Doogie Howser aliens if you're watching this. Not a horrible show, but yeah, there's a lot of bad TV, and I'm sure they're learning a lot from our culture.
Now, we're going to go off on another tangent here. There is a signal now. Maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. In Great Britain, England. I believe it's from the mid-70s, and it's of an alien. And aliens, when they speak, they always seem to have a British accent. I don't know why that is.
Of course they do.
But they do. But they broke into some TV show in England and had a message for them. It's on YouTube. I've seen it. It's about a 15 or 20-minute message.
Huh.
And it's like a snow... young kids, TV used to have snow. I can't really describe it. You've never seen that before. I am so old. I remember when TV went off at night.
They played the national anthem when it went off, and it was pure fuzz on the TV.
Yeah, and it comes back on about 6 o'clock in the morning, goes off maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And I talk to kids, and they're like, what? You're an old man? Are you out of your mind?
Well, it's funny.
Yes, I am, but...
I was talking to kids at work today that I remember I had to hold rabbit ears. For those of you who don't know what those are, it's like antenna to help boost your TV's UHF, or more importantly, VHF, signal to draw it in. So then we had to hold it, or we would tie tinfoil to it, anything to get a better charge out of it. But all that just to watch reruns of Gilligan's Island on black and white. That's how I grew up with TV.
My grandparents even had that too, though. So I still grew up with it, even in a different generation.
Oh, Gilligan's Island. The first show I ever really grew attached to.
Now, what is it about that bonds everybody they're going to get off the island? It just bonded with every human being that I know. They keep watching it because at age 9, that one day the professor is going to put a coconut and a radio together, and they're going to have a spaceship, and they're going to come back to...
Well, that was always the joke of the show. The professor could make a clock out of coconuts, but couldn't fix a hole in the damn boat. Couldn't figure that
professor,
out.
Not a carpenter.
The worst professor of all time. But then, now isn't it true that the creator of Gilligan's Island named the stowaways after the 7 deadly sins? I think I heard that from you.
Yeah.
Greed, sloth, envy, anger, whatever the 7 deadly sins are. Jealousy. Well, of which all are paths, according to Yoda, to the dark side. So the 7 deadly sins are all paths to the dark side. Weirdly enough.
Little buddy, he is.
My buddy Brian and I, we were going to go as the skipper and Gilligan for Halloween one year, and that would have been perfect because Brian's a tall, thin feller, and I'm a short, fat feller, so it would have worked out brilliantly. Now here comes the question, the trivia question of the day. Is the skipper had a name? They mentioned his name in the pilot episode only, and from there on out, he was known as the skipper.
I will buy your next 10 pairs of eyeglasses if you can tell me.
What is the skipper's real name.
What do I get anything if I win?
You got an orange. I'll give you another orange soda.
It's a delicious orange soda. And
Maybe some Twizzlers.
Yeah, there's Twizzlers upstairs.
Write this down. It's a great bar bet. Jonas Grumby
Give that man a Cupid doll.
is the skipper.
Nice.
And Gilligan was actually going to be named Willie Gilligan.
God, that's horrible.
Allegedly, Sherwood Schwartz, the producer of the show, said we need a name for it. And they were looking through the Los Angeles phone book, and he found the name Gilligan and thought that would be a really good name to use.
That is, I mean, it's a comical, silly name.
Yes, Ginger Grant, they said that a lot. She was allegedly a movie star.
I never know that was her last name. Well, I'm
Ginger
learning
Grant
something every day.
Was and Marianne Summers from Kansas.
Is that why she looked like Dorothy?
It could very well be, and her pigtails and everything, and also the professor's name. The professor did have a name. You know what it is?
I have no earthly idea.
Roy Hinckley. I kid you not. Roy, I can't get a GED.
Wow.
I can't change the oil in my car. I can't make.
People think I know some stuff.
I can't
Here's
make
your genius.
eggs for breakfast, but I can't tell you the names of the Gilligan's Island. In my generation, you come home from school. It's on TV every day at 4 o'clock in the afternoon after school. And
If ever I make it big, that's going to be the name I travel under. Is Roy Hinckley.
Roy Hinckley. Well, there was a show that was the Greatest American Hero. Was that 80s? Maybe
I remember that.
90s?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
remember that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, his name was supposed to. I don't know if it was Roy Hinckley, but it was Hinckley.
Oh, that's right.
And then because
I forgot the entire. It was only 2 seasons.
was it
2 or
John
3
Hinckley
seasons.
that shot Reagan?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
other trivia.
John Hinckley
Wackos
Jr.,
who
yeah.
shot presidents. For
Yeah,
$500.
John Hinckley Jr.
So they changed his name from Hinckley because
I'll be damned.
of that.
And the theme song to that show was "Believe It or Not, I'm Walking on Air." Average Joe high school professor finds a briefcase left to him by space people, and it's a special suit that if he wears the suit, he can control the suit. But the first few episodes, the suit kind of controls him till he figures out how to learn the usage of the suit. So the suit is the superpower. He really isn't, more or less. There's the gist of the show, and he's got a compadre. I forget his feller's name. The straight guy of the show kind of leads him on all these different. Come on, you can do this, or he's the number 2. He's number
Scott
2
Bale,
It wasn't Scott Bale.
Mark Wahlberg.
It's an older feller who was on. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that one up. I don't remember the guy's name, but if you ever see him, like, oh, that guy, he's one of those guys, and he's been in a lot of stuff.
Now, what is a tribute from your generation? It's weird because you're just coming out now, reaching adulthood. But as a kid, I mean, everybody's got a geek about something. Whether it was dolls, whether it was a show, whether it's a band, we all have a geekdom. Greg,
Shows. It
Shows.
still shows. I mean, last night I all hung out with all my friends. We all sat around the TV and watched Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is the big one now. Wasn't it the season opener?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Odd time for a season opener in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, they only have 7 episodes this season.
What?
So but they have the last 2.
What?
Yeah. 7 this season, 6 the
That's
next.
not a real season.
I don't know what that is.
They made us wait.
MASH had seasons of 30 episodes.
I know.
What is Game of Thrones?
God,
Go ahead, you're up, kid.
It's so complicated. So many characters. It's all in like this dystopian, like medieval time. It's its own thing. I would.
So you lost me. Gilligan's Island, they tell you, they sing a song for about 45 seconds. The whole premise is right there. Brady Bunch,
No, there are like, I want to say maybe up to 15 stories going on all in one show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
I've seen your generation. No offense, you're not that smart.
Well, Game of Thrones is a pretty intricate show.
You are.
Okay, but it is good. It's not for everybody. And you gotta sit through it all to really understand.
According to Penny from The Big Bang Theory, she describes it as action-packed and lots of naked people doing it.
Yeah,
So that's why she watched it.
That's true. That too.
Yeah, because they were teasing her, like, what, did Leonard make you watch Game of Thrones? She's like, no, I like it. It got a lot of action and a lot of naked people doing it, so, I watch it.
No nudity last night, though.
That's it. Cancel the show.
What network is it on?
Oh, HBO.
Now, didn't South Park do a thing? Didn't they get to the writer of Game of Thrones?
George R.R. Martin, possibly.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen
South Park had a whole shtick on Game of Thrones because they really give it to R.R. Martin about how he's some kind of wackadoo.
Because he kills everybody in the show.
So
That's not
they go to kidnap him to get the secret ending to certain episodes.
Yeah.
And it turns out he does these things in real life. So he's writing the show based on things he's actually done as a human being. You South Parkers out there, You know what it was a funny collection of episodes. South Park doesn't care. They step on everybody.
That's what good comedy should do.
Yeah, they step on everybody.
And nobody should bitch. Everybody's on the line of fire.
Yeah.
Good for them. There needs to be something comedically, whatever force it is. If it happens to be them, that just tackles everybody equally. And
do you use that rule in your?
No, because I can't say one thing. I've done. I was on a cruise ship just recently.
I'm gonna have to see. Probably have to watch what you're saying on a gig like that.
You've probably never seen me before. You've seen me a few times.
A couple times.
I do a bit about not getting the cute waitress.
Okay.
It's a harmless bit. It's very innocuous. And the name of the waitress that I came up with is Doris the Porcosaurus. I ad-libbed it one night that she's got a wandering eye and a bad wig and pleurisy and gout and swimmer's ear and athlete's foot and all these things. It's basically, it is a litany, a laundry list of diseases and human maladies, which put together is quite humorous when they're, trench mouth, pink eye, all those
just everything.
Everything. And it's a jazz riff. On any particular night, it could go 30 seconds, it could go 3.5 minutes. And if the crowd is buying it, they literally are bent over laughing harder than a human being can laugh.
That's how I was the first time I saw that.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. And there's a lady that comes out.
Actually, the first 2 times I saw it.
One of the Chicago comedy clubs, Zanies, and it's out in the suburbs. There's a lady that comes out whenever I'm there, usually twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, and she'll bring people out, and she said, I want them to see Doris the Porcosaurus. And she comes and she brings 15 or 20 people out, and she requests this innocuous bit that to me is not that great, but the fans like it. They can have what they
pretty
come
good.
to
That's
see.
awesome.
Okay. It's pretty good.
So to make a long story longer, like I usually do, I'm at the cruise ship just a couple weeks ago, and I'm thinking, okay, this crowd will probably like Doris the Porcosaurus, and I laid it out there, and it was a good one. I did about maybe 3 minutes, and I just really laid into it. And there's people I could see grabbing their sides and clutching themselves and bent over. And after the show was over, the manager of the comedy room said, "What did you do?" That lady, that she walked out, and she was a little fat, and she was a waitress allegedly, and she was crying, and she said she's been persecuted her whole life because of her weight, and here's a comedian just stabbing her heart, and she had to be consoled, and 10 of her family walked out, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, if they're going to be offended by that, I swear I did not come out of my cabin the rest of the cruise, because I didn't want to be, I know I'm going to be eating breakfast. I didn't see what the lady looked like, old or young, or whatever she looked like. Yeah, that's the one. I didn't want that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. So,
pitchforks and torches on a cruise ship.
And it was just not as fun. It's a fictitious thing. It's not even a comedy routine. It is a chimp trick. So my point is, things are very, very politically sensitive right now, and that's not even political.
Put chimp trick on
Chimp
there
trick.
too.
Yeah.
Chimp Trick is opening for Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick, Chimp Trick. I don't know how we got to it. While we're writing these things down, do you have anything to plug before we go? Do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, don't forget, July 27th is this Thursday night at Fusion. You can find them on the Facebook or Google Club Fusion Kenosha. You'll get a listing of their events. They're one of the only places here in town that will host literary events, but they have musical gigs, all kind of cool stuff happening right here in our very own downtown Kenosha, which is not known to be or to have a literary community at all whatsoever. So my hat's off to them.
As we sign off today, I would like to pay tribute and dedicate this broadcast. As we're recording this, George Romero passed away this week. And he was the originator of the Night of the Living Dead movies.
Yes.
And I remember the first time I did comedy, I did it in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is a very, it's one of those things, kind of like Milwaukee, in that it's its own entity. There's not a lot of things that are near it. Milwaukee's near Chicago, but it's not Chicago. It's its own thing. Pittsburgh is not near anything, and it's got an accent all its own. It's got a culture by itself. And George Romero, coming out of Pittsburgh, made this movie local, the first one, Night of the Living Dead. I believe it was 1967.
Yep, in black and white.
Black and white. And he financed it himself, and it was really an amazing story. When I went to Pittsburgh, they took me to some of the scenes or the locations where he shot the movie. And I saw it years ago. Then I went to the locations, and then I saw it right after that again. It was just really, really interesting. He was an innovator and a pioneer, and in any kind of creative field, that is difficult to do.
He was also pioneering the fact that he had, at the time, at a heightened state of weirdness in our country, he had an African American as the hero of the film.
Yes.
In the late 60s, that is unheard of, yes. And I met an actress who was in that movie. At the very end of the movie, there's a little girl who kills her family with a garden trowel. The actress's name is Kira Schron. I've met her now. She teaches ceramics in Connecticut. She only did a few things, but I met her at ZombieCon up in Milwaukee a number of years ago. I have a show and go back upstairs. I got her autograph in that collage of autographs. Her picture's right in the middle of it all. Super sweet lady. Had nothing but good memories about the filming of that movie, about all that stuff. So, if you haven't, please see it.
Peace and props. We are the Mothership Connection. Carrie, how can people get a hold of us? Should they want to bug us, heckle us, get us angered up? How can they do that?
You can steer your ship right over to the Facebook page for the Mothership Connection, and then tinfoiltalkshow@gmail.com.
Beautiful. We are it. Al, the Cosmic Pal, will be here next time. We'll see you later. The Mothership flies once again. Thanks for watching.